2011. Everyone's out plinking, Skyrim just came out, Anonymous is doing whatever Anonymous did, and most people would agree that 2011 was a monumental year for R&B music, myself included. You had albums like House of Balloon by The Weeknd, a horrifying masterpiece that took a different approach to R&B with samples of Beach House and Susie and the Banshees. You had Take Care, an album that many agree is a Drake classic, even Back to Love by Anthony Hamilton. But there's one album that seemed to stand out and change the way R&B was looked at forever. And that album is Nostalgia Ultra by Frank Ocean. But to fully understand the importance of Nostalgia Ultra, you need to understand Christopher Edwin Breaux. Christopher, Frank Ocean's birth name, was born October 28, 1987. In Long Beach, California. At just 6 years old, his father left without any explanation. He and his mother then moved to New Orleans, the birthplace of jazz, where his mom, Catania, and his grandfather, Lionel, raised him. Frank Ocean's grandfather essentially became his father figure and a huge inspiration for a lot of his music. He also was the reason why young Christopher Breaux was nicknamed Lonnie. His grandfather was a member of AA, or Alcoholics Anonymous, a non-profit fellowship group for recovering addicts to help each other stay clean. Lionel frequently brought young Lonnie to these meetings, which he's referenced in a few songs like Crack Rock on Channel Orange.
You're shucking and jiving, stealing and robbing to get the fixin' that you're itching for, your family.
What does suffering mean, and what does self-forgiveness look like, are likely questions that were exposed to a young Lonnie when he was growing up because of this. In high school, Frank Ocean spent a lot of his time alone, whether it was climbing onto rooftops and listening to music or reading. He began recording music and he worked odd jobs to pay for his studio time. After graduating high school, Ocean enrolled into the University of New Orleans to pursue his bachelor's degree in English in the year 2005. But as soon as his semester hit, Katrina hit, and his home was destroyed and looted. With only a couple $100s to his name, he decided to pack it up, move to the City of Angels, Los Angeles, to further his music career. Before he even finished recording his demos, money ran out, and he ended up having to work minimum wage jobs like Subway, Fatburger, Kinko's, and AT&T, to name a few. Eventually, he came across the opportunity to write songs for artists, sending tracks to producers who would bring them to major labels. Ocean ended up writing tracks for artists like Justin Bieber, John Legend, and Beyonce. Eventually, Frank Ocean was recognized for his work and signed by Def Jam with the help of Tricky Stewart, the producer behind songs like Single Ladies by Beyonce and Umbrella by Rihanna. But unfortunately, he wasn't given a recording budget and was essentially left on the sidelines, forgotten by the label. It was around the same time Frank Ocean managed to get on the phone with Tyler the Creator through mutual acquaintances.
Yeah, man, I'm out here selling weed and doing bad shit, nigga. What up, motherfucker?
What up, motherfucker?
Nothing, smoking weed every day and not having a job and, man, making money.
And through phone conversations, they spoke about life, music, art, and just being free. For Frank, it was refreshing to meet someone who didn't take life so serious, which contrasted with his life of making music for corporations and labels. Ocean was introduced to Odd Future and their DIY approach to making music, an unapologetic style of art and self-expression. This essentially freedom, and with the support of Odd Future, Frank Ocean decided to write and record his own record, a mixtape called Nostalgia Ultra. Nostalgia Ultra is a mixtape about new love, love lost, addiction, morality, and of course, nostalgia. The mixtape has many themes and sounds of nostalgia from Ocean's past, like cassette tapes going in and out of cassettes, rewinding and playing, and even some of his songs are titled after old video games like GoldenEye, Street Fighter, Soul Calibur. The first song, Strawberry Swing, opens up the project on a nostalgic note, with the first lyric saying,
"When we were kids, we had painted strawberries on a swing."
Frank is reminiscing of a time where things are simpler and invites the listener to do the same with their childhood memories. The theme of remembrance and longing for the past in his lyrics, coupled with a dreamy sample from Coldplay's Strawberry Swing, contrasts with the typical sounds you would hear from Odd Future, and this really set Frank apart from them and set the tone for what the mixtape was about. More importantly, what Frank Ocean was about. Novocaine, the lead single from this record, explores a girl who is trying to become a dentist and ultimately has to do porn to pay for her tuition. I draw a lot of parallels from this and Travis Scott's 901-210, the song about a small-time girl looking for looking to become a star in the Valley, but she ultimately has to do porn to do what she got to do. And it's really interesting because both of these songs are in Frank Ocean's and Travis Scott's earlier projects. There Will Be Tears talked about the absence of Frank Ocean's dad and how it impacted him on the larger perspective of the world that Frank got from going to AA meetings with his grandfather. On the track Dust, Frank Ocean talks about the transition in his life that he had when he shifted from being a writer for other people and corporations to seeing the world for himself, writing for himself, making and recording music for himself. It explores the idea of his understanding that true authenticity is what makes people actually want to listen to your music. He realized that to be authentic, you had to live through stories to tell them in the first place. Love Crimes is about how quickly romance can go sour. Swim Good is about contemplating and battling with suicidal thoughts. American Wedding is about marriage and divorce and the flaws of capitalistic romance. All these stories that Frank tells on Nostalgia Ultra are a fusion of fiction and reality. He tells them in a way that are real, and he tells them in a way that's authentic. In many ways, you could argue that Nostalgia Ultra walked so Channel Orange could fly. And both Blonde and Channel Orange cast a giant shadow over Nostalgia Ultra, essentially leaving the mixtape on the sidelines like Def Jam did to Frank in the beginning of his career. But I truly believe that Nostalgia Ultra is a solid standalone project that shines its own light and still influences the way that music's made today. Bedroom Pop, for example, its DNA stems strongly from Nostalgia Ultra because of how low-key it is, how rough around the edge it is. And yes, Nostalgia Ultra's production is messy and obviously flawed, but that gives it character. It provides a blueprint for young musicians to follow. As long as your ideas and concepts are authentic, people will listen. Frank Ocean saw that, and he used Nostalgia Ultra as a vessel to explore love, death, suicide, and heartbreak. He critiqued vanity in American culture. He gave his views on addiction and relationships. Most importantly, he gave the world the undeniable feeling of nostalgia. So I have one question to ask. What feeling would you give the world? Yo, thanks for checking out and watching this video all the way to the end, man. It means a lot to me because it took a long time for me to do this and put it together. Even just like starting this channel took a long time to do. So I'm planning on doing more videos like this weekly. And I have hella ideas, hella artists I want to cover, hella topics, albums, so much. But if you guys have any suggestions, I'm so open to it because I want to make stuff that you guys want to watch. So just like, please leave a comment or just let me know what you think about this video so I can make it a little bit better than the next one. But yeah, all love. Thanks so much for listening or watching all the way to the end. And I love you. Bye.